I was 5 years old when I first felt it. That weight. Like the walls around me weren't made of brick and mortar, but of something invisible, heavier than iron. I couldn't name it. I couldn't even describe it. But I felt it. Like something was wrong with the world. Terribly wrong. Everyone around me acted like everything was normal. The sky was blue. The sun came up. School started at 8 a.m. sharp. This is life, they said. But deep down, I knew something was off. It wasn't until decades later that I realized I had been born in a prison. Yes, you heard that right. A prison, and so were you. But this prison, it doesn't have bars. It doesn't need them. Its walls are made of lies. Its floors are paved with distractions. Its guards, they don't carry weapons. They wear suits. They smile. They hold microphones and sit behind desks on the nightly news. And the most dangerous thing of all, you don't even know you're a prisoner. Oh, my friend, how deep this deception goes. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you were meant for something more? Like there was a fire inside of you that the world kept trying to put out? That was not your imagination. That was a spark of truth, a whisper from heaven. But the world, the prison, trains you from birth to ignore that voice, to laugh at it, to mock it. Because if you ever followed it, if you ever really listened, you would break free. But who wants you free? Not the world, not the system. Certainly not the enemy of your soul. Because once you're free, you're dangerous. Once you're awake, you're unstoppable. And once you know the truth, you'll never bow to the lie again. And what is the lie? It's the lie that this world is all there is, that you're just a body, that your worth is measured by money, fame, or power, that God is far away, that Jesus is a myth, that heaven is for the weak. Lies, every single one of them. I've lived long enough to tell you with every breath in my lungs, Jesus is real. The war for your soul is real. And the world we live in, it's not what you think it is. Oh, but it gets stranger. Do you know what Jesus said? The kingdom of God is not of this world. He was telling us the truth. He always told the truth. But hardly anyone listened. Why? Because they were too distracted, too addicted, too comfortable in the prison. It's warm in here, right? You've got your phone, your favorite shows, your snacks, your schedule. The prison feeds you, keeps you pacified, but it also keeps you asleep. And one day when the sky cracks open and every eye sees him, many will scream, "Why didn't anyone tell me?" Friend, I'm telling you now, you were born in a prison, but the gate, it was already unlocked. Jesus is the key. He came not just to forgive sin, but to wake the prisoners, to break the chains, to show us what's really real. But you have to want it. You have to hunger for truth more than comfort. You have to choose light, even when the darkness feels easier. And that choice, it begins now. If this message is stirring something inside you, don't ignore it. Subscribe to this channel, stay with us, because what I'm about to share with you changes everything. I've seen it, I've lived it, and I'll never be the same. Let me take you deeper. Let me show you what they don't want you to see. Let me show you the truth behind this prison we call Earth. Are you ready? Then keep watching. I never saw it coming. That moment in the car, with the silence crushing down on me, was just the beginning. The seed had been planted, but it wasn't until the weeks that followed that something truly began to unravel. And I don't mean unravel like a mystery solved. No, I mean unravel like your entire world being turned inside out. I couldn't sleep. Night after night, I'd toss and turn, my mind racing with one relentless question. What if this world isn't what we think it is? And not just in some poetic sense. I'm talking real deception, a manufactured illusion, a prison disguised as paradise. Let me ask you, have you ever felt like you were made for something more? Something deeper than paying bills, arguing politics, and scrolling until your eyes bleed? Because I did. And then I stumbled into something ancient, something terrifying and holy. One night, half delirious from exhaustion, I found myself thumbing through an old Bible. Not the clean, gold-leafed kind you see in hotels. This one was my grandfather's, tattered, worn, and full of scribbles in the margins. He was a preacher, a man who had seen demons cast out in dusty barns and witnessed miracles no science textbook could explain. There in the book of John, a verse jumped out like a blade. "My kingdom is not of this world." Jesus said that, plain and simple. Wait, what? If his kingdom isn't of this world, then what is this world? Suddenly, it clicked. Jesus didn't come here to make this earth perfect. He didn't build a political movement. He didn't even try to fight Rome. He came to free prisoners, prisoners trapped not just in sin, but in illusion. Dear God, that means we're still inside it. I dove into prayer like never before. Lord, I cried out, show me the truth. If this world is a prison, then open my eyes to the bars. That's when the dream started. I would wake up gasping for breath. I saw walls made of light, cold, sterile. I saw masses walking like zombies under the glow of screens, chains made of comfort and convenience hanging from their wrists. But the worst part? I saw people celebrating, smiling, laughing, all while standing in cages they couldn't even see. That's the real horror, isn't it? A prison where the inmates have no idea they're locked in. If this message is stirring something inside you, don't ignore it. Hit that subscribe button and follow this journey, because it's only getting deeper. And if you've ever felt like a stranger in this world, you're not crazy, you're just waking up. I became obsessed with finding references to this prison in the Bible, and suddenly, they were everywhere. Ephesians 6 verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Galatians 1:4, this present evil world. 2 Corinthians 4:4, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers. Wait, the God of this world. Hold on, that doesn't say Jesus, that doesn't say the Father. That says the God of this world, little g. Who is that? Lucifer, the deceiver, the architect of illusion, the warden of the prison. My hands were shaking. I fell to my knees. I whispered, Jesus, I thought I knew, but I didn't know. Friends, listen to me. Earth is not just a fallen planet. It's not just broken by sin. It's a battlefield, cloaked in comfort, a prison dressed up like a playground. You were born here, but you were never meant to stay. You were born to escape, but the only way out is through Him. I remember standing in my backyard one morning, staring at the sky as the sun broke through the clouds, and for a moment, I saw it. Not with my eyes, but with my spirit. This world is not the end, it's the test. And Jesus, He is not a myth, He is not a teacher or a prophet or a philosophy. He is the key. He came into the prison, not to decorate the walls, not to make us better prisoners, but to bust open the gates. And the devil knows it. That's why this system, this world, hates Him. You can say spiritual, positive energy, or even God on social media, and you'll be fine. But mention Jesus, suddenly you're radical, suddenly you're dangerous. Ask yourself, why is that? Because the warden doesn't fear religion, he fears truth. I'm telling you this with everything in me. Don't go back to sleep. Hit that subscribe button if you feel your spirit stirring. There is more coming. You are not alone in this. The more I studied, the more I began to see how deep this rabbit hole goes. From ancient Babylon to modern tech, from Pharaoh's lies to TikTok's distractions, it's the same serpent in new skin. But Jesus? He walked right into this system knowing they'd crucify Him. Why? Because He had to plant the escape route. Not in the soil, but in our hearts. And when He rose, that was the jailbreak. Stay with me. In the next part, I'm going to tell you about the moment I realized just how personal this war really is. And what Jesus showed me, what He whispered to my spirit, it changed everything. But promise me one thing. Don't turn this off. Your freedom may depend on it. There comes a point when you can't go back. Once you see the bars, you can't pretend they're trees. Once you hear the chains, no amount of music can drown them out. And once you've tasted truth, the lies will choke you. That was me. I wasn't the same anymore. Not at work, not with friends, not even in the mirror. Something had shifted. I didn't want to talk about news or sports or weekend plans. I wanted to shout, "Don't you see? We're trapped. But there's a way out." Of course, I didn't. Not right away. I stayed silent until that night. It was 2:37 a.m. I remember it exactly because I looked at the clock just before it happened. I couldn't sleep again, restless, heavy, like something was pressing on my chest. So I did what I'd started doing every night. I got on my knees and whispered, Jesus, I know you're real, but I need more. I need to know you're not just in a book. I need to know you're here, now. And then I heard Him. Not out loud, not like thunder or a voice through the wall, but deeper than that, inside, like a sound etched into my bones. You were never alone. I froze. Tears hit the carpet before I could understand why, and then came the rest. You were born into war, but I have overcome the world. Follow me. Everything stopped, the fear, the doubt, the confusion. For the first time in months, peace. Not peace like the world gives, Not peace like a warm bath or a deep breath. No, this was holy. Like being pulled out of a burning building and finally breathing real air again. I wept like a child because I knew what he meant. This wasn't just about philosophy or religion or even escaping some spiritual prison someday after I die. This was now. Jesus was handing me the code. Not a formula, not a ritual, but himself, his word, his spirit, his name. And with him, the cell door was already unlocked. You want to know what changed after that? Everything, but not in the way you'd think. I didn't win the lottery. I didn't get famous. I didn't suddenly glow or float when I prayed, but the veil was gone. I could see the lies. The news manipulated fear. The entertainment, sedatives for the soul. The rat race, a cage with fancier wheels. Even some churches, just polished cells with better lighting. But his voice, it kept coming, guiding me, convicting me, awakening me. Every time I opened the Bible, it was alive, pages burning with light and warning and hope. I realized we're not waiting for the prison to end. We're waiting for the final jailbreak. Because one day the warden will tremble, one day the sky will rip open, and Jesus, the one who bled outside the walls to set us free, will return. But not as a prisoner, as king. And the prison walls, they will fall. So here's what I'm telling you. If you felt the emptiness, if you've seen the cracks, if deep down you know this world isn't your home, you're right. You were never made to rot behind invisible bars. You were created to walk in the light of truth. But only one name holds the key. Jesus. Not religion, not good vibes, not being a better person, just him. And he's calling your name. Do you feel it? That tug inside your soul, that ache that no success or screen can fix, that's him. That's your wake-up call. Don't silence it. Don't delay, because the gates are still open. But one day, they won't be. If you're ready to walk out of the prison, if you're ready to follow the voice that made you, pray this with me. Jesus, I see the bars now. I don't want the illusion anymore. I want you. I believe you died to set me free. I believe you rose to give me life. Be my Savior. Be my Lord. I step out of the cell. I'm yours. And if you just prayed that, welcome home. The war is still raging, but now you're no longer a prisoner. You're a warrior. You're a child of the king. You're part of the jailbreak. And this isn't the end. This is the beginning. Subscribe now and follow me into the next layer, because what's coming will shake the world. And you'll want to be awake when it hits. You were born in a prison, but you don't have to die in one. Not anymore. Because truth broke in, and now it's your turn to walk out. He who the sun sets free is free indeed.